Okay, let's take a look at the BitKit2 I/O adapter. First at the adapter, then at how to hook up the trackball, and then we'll play some Wacko. So on the adapter itself, there's two connectors, a 6-pin and a 3-pin connector, and we're going to use those to plug the adapter into the BitKit2 PCB at the 6-pin and 3-pin here. So I've got a HAP trackball here that ends in a 9-pin Molex. Now that's a little large for this small connector board, so that's where this cable comes in. This is a 60-in-1 trackball cable sold from Mike's Arcade and Arcade Shop. This pinout on this end with the smaller connector is the same one on the 60-in-1 for their trackball connector, so that's why you'll typically see it online as a 60-in-1 trackball connector, harness, adapter, etc. But we're going to go ahead and plug in the Molex in here to this side. And then plug in this side here. You notice the polarity notches there on the connector will fit the polarity here, so it's not possible to really hook it in backwards. And if you're making your own cable, maybe for a different trackball or one that has a different connector, the pinout for this header will be in the BitKit2 manual. So now that we've got that connected, let's go ahead and hook it up. Okay, there's one piece missing now, and that's the 5 volts for the trackball. Unfortunately, the BitKit2 doesn't have 5 volts available on the connectors we're using, so you have to provide that separately. So I've got a little cable here set up from my switching power supply. I'm going to plug that into the 5-volt pin. Now I'm not going to plug up the ground because I'm using the same power supply for this 5-volt that I'm using for the JAMA harness, so I don't need the ground. If I was using a separate power supply to supply this 5-volt, I would want to hook up both the 5-volt and the ground to the 2-pin power connector here on the I/O adapter. Okay, so let's take a look at Wacko's settings real quick. You can see the normal lives and difficulty setting, but there's two new settings, control and response. And currently control is set to trackball A. There's also an option for trackball B and joystick. Well, the difference between trackball A and B is basically the polarity of the axis. So in other words, if you move the trackball to the right and your character goes right, or you move your trackball to the right and then that makes your character go left. Now, trackball A is the default, and so if you find that's the opposite of the way you want it, you can switch to trackball B. Now, the second setting there is response, and this is a number between 1 and 7, 1 being the slowest, 7 being the fastest. Now, Wacko is a pretty fast game. When I played it on a real cabinet, you can zip around the screen with that trackball. So I've put it on the fastest number setting for response, which would be 7. Okay, so I've got Wacko set up here, ready to go, but before I start a game, I just wanted to talk about my controls. I've obviously got the trackball, but then I'm also using this wireless 8BitDo Super Nintendo style pad, and that's made possible by this JAMA pass-through adapter that you may have seen earlier in the video. I'll leave a link for that product down in the description, but I love it. It's great. It's easy to use on the test bench, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. Okay, now it gets tough. Now you have to shoot each pair of monsters, but when you do that, they shrink down to little monsters, and they still fly around, so you have to keep avoiding them. All right. Well, not a bad score. That gives you an idea of how the trackball works, and especially for a game like this, where it's really important just to be able to move around fast. The trackball is great. Next video, I'll probably do maybe the spinner. We'll play a spinner game, probably Teeter Torture on Exidy. So, thanks for watching.